Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my long-term thoughts on the Galen Leather A5 Folio, this Dee Charles pen case, and my AliExpress Keiko pen case. We're going to take a quick look at them. We'll take a look at what's in them and what I'm using them for. So join me now down on the mat. Let's jump straight in. So here we are down on the mat. Today I was going to do a video where I would be talking about what's in my pen case because yes, I know I do my pens in use, but I also have a number of other pens that are inked up most of the time as well. But then I thought, well, Gary, you still haven't done a long-term review of your A5 Folio. So I thought, well, maybe this is the opportunity to do that. What we'll do is we'll take a look at this Galen Leather Folio, then I'll show you my other pen cases and very quickly give you a tour over them. Now, I've had all these cases well over 12 months and I use them all on a daily basis, so they're really heavily used. Let's start though with this Galen Leather Folio. This is A5 size. I've got to be honest, this is one of my favourite accessories that I've got for my pens. It's in this gorgeous green crazy horse leather, and hopefully you can actually see where I'm getting that patina coming through. So I've got my dark areas, I've got the scratches all over it. If I turn it over, there we go, even more scratches. No stains, fortunately. I just love this. I think it looks so nice, and whenever I'm leaving the house, this goes with me because it has everything that I need in it. One of the things I actually do like about this, it's here. I could get my initials put on there, so I know it's mine. Not that anyone else in the house has got one, but it's still nice to have, isn't it? I'm going to open it up. I haven't zipped it up yet. I will zip it up later on. So this is my everyday carry in here. I've got my pens. These are my pens in use for this month. So I'm filming this in April. These are my April pens in use. Let's pull this first bit out. So this here, I think this is a brilliant idea. It comes out so you can actually pull them pens out and then use what pockets are in here. So I could put stuff in here as well. I haven't really bothered with that because I find that with the notebook, we'll look at that in a second, I've got everything that I need. But it's nice to have the option. You know, I can slot in a little notepad behind here if I wanted. Let me just see if I can grab one to show you. So here we go. It's a nice bright orange. This is just a small notebook with Fabriano paper, but that will tuck nicely in there. And then the pens can go in the front. So that's yet another notebook I could have in here if I wished. Just take that out of the way. But as I say, normally I don't really bother too much. The other thing I've got in here at the top, I've got a business card so that should it ever get lost, well, at least there is something there people can use to contact me. I've just moved that over so it's more central on the camera. The other thing I always carry in here, just a little USB memory stick. It's not an expensive one. You know, again, it's useful though if I need to do any transfer of files. On this side, I always keep two of my pens. Normally this has got my larger pens in it because they don't fit usually into this removable pen sleeve. But it's still handy to have. This little loop down here, I don't often take the cable out with me, but if I do, I'll just take the cable and pop it under there. In the middle, this will come up, so you can zip it up and you've got something which you want to maybe hang it on a bag, so you don't have to have it hidden away. Again, for me, I usually keep this hidden away there. On here, what I've done is I've attached the evil eye. This actually came with the bag, and I've got 3 Leonardo tags here. They are what they say, they're the tags that came with my Leonardo pens. I love my Leonardo pens. This can be detached. Again, I've never bothered with it. I just leave it there because it's handy for holding them. And on the right hand side, let me actually just pull this out, then you can see it better. We've got this flap here, and that's what I use for holding my notebook. Now, yes, I know I could lay the notebook on there and just pull it out whenever I want to use it. I like to attach my notebook because I very rarely actually take it out. One of the things you'll notice here, what I've had to do and why it's stuck a bit, it doesn't go all the way down. So I've had to essentially ease this backing sleeve off the paper just so it will go all the way down. So let me get into there. And what I do, so I just tuck this in and pull it down. So I've always got a Leather A5 notebook with me. It will take other notebooks though. Again, I'm going to pull this out. Here's a black and red notebook. This is what I actually use for my pen tests. Let's get in there so I can show you that. So that fits in quite nicely. Any A5 notebook seems to fit in here okay. Let's just pop this Leather one back. There we go. So does this now fasten up? If I close it over and then I can zip round. And there, that's nice and compact. Let's try an experiment. So unzip this. You know, we've got a nice compact package there. Here I've got my Galen Leather Tomoe River notebook. I'm going to pop that in. And again, I can zip this up. It starts getting a bit tight up here at the top where I've got the tops of my pens. But if I just push them down a little bit and pinch that leather together, there we go, that goes in. So if needed, I can even have a second notebook in there. And I did pick that Galen Leather one because it's particularly thick. I just unzip this. So this demonstrates one of the weaknesses. I started off with 4 pens in here. One of them's come out. It's a Jinhao 35 that's come out. So one of the things I do find, especially with the thinner pens, I need to push it down so the clip is all the way down to the bottom. Otherwise, it ends up coming out, which is what that did. And again here, let's move these two around because that 159 looks too big in there. That goes quite nicely into that one. And then the X450, you know, it slots in there nice. So lots of flexibility with this. I absolutely love it. It's such a nice way to keep everything neat and tidy. As I say, it lives on my desk, used multiple times every single day. Just going to move this out of the way. The next one I'm going to fetch in, and you see part of this in quite a lot of my videos. This is by Dee Charles, and it's the Dee Charles Designs 10 pen box pen carrying case. Quite a mouthful, isn't it? I got this from Pen Chalet. It cost me 107 Australian dollars. Now the Galen Leather one, just going to quickly fetch that back, that was 160 Australian dollars. So a massive jump in price, but I think for the way I use it, it's worth every dollar. So this Dee Charles one, again, it's got this nice leather feel to it. Really nice. And it's aging not as nice as the Galen Leather one, but that's because this very rarely goes out of the house. It normally just sits on the table at the side of my desk because it's used for holding my pens. Just going to turn it to the side. You can see here we've got a line. That's because the way it opens is we have a magnetic flap on the front. Quite nice snap, and it's quite secure. That comes up. We can see we've got this felt inside. Then we've got this pen tray. I'm going to ease the pen tray out because it's the pen tray you often see. Let's just ease that out now, and we'll just look inside first. So inside, we've got this gorgeous felt material, so everything's well protected. And as you most probably saw, that pen tray, that's quite a tight fit, so you don't have to worry about it moving around. So it is something you could quite easily take your pens out with you. It's just my choice is to always take the Galen Leather. They do these in multiple sizes. I decided on the 10 pen tray. I did that because I thought if I buy a bigger one, it's going to encourage me to have more pens that are inked up. And I wanted to try and avoid that. I wanted to keep it to less than the 16, which is these two combined. Well, that hasn't happened really. So let's fetch this up. This is the pen tray. This is what I use when I'm showing you off pens in my videos. I use this. Now, when I bought it, you can see here at the sides, I've got these two little straps. I'm just going to do that one. That went all the way across, and I'm not sure if you can see there are holes on the inside where it was going through. So the idea is that holds them pens nice and snugly in place. I didn't want that for what I was doing because I want to use this as a pen tray to show my pens off. I'm just pulling them 3 out. You know, we've got some nice deep slots there. The pens sit very comfortably. Let's see if I can show you the slots here so you get a more 3D view of it. The pens just slot in there. You know, I've got in here some Leonardos. I've got in my Diplomat Aero, that fits nicely. My Leonardo, this is the Grande version of the Memento Zero, that fits in there quite nicely. What I have done, I've left these 2 tags so that I just loop them round for the pens on the ends. When it's in the box, it doesn't matter, but when it's out of the box, it just stops these from rolling, because if I loosen this one off, that would roll out very easy. By keeping it tight and then just curling it around, just helps to keep everything secure. I bought this for this tray. To be honest, that was the real thing that I wanted, was the pen tray, because I like the look of it, and as I say, I wanted it for use in my videos. As a package though, it's really nice. It keeps my pens secure. You may be able to tell from the pens that I've got in here. This is where I keep all my most expensive pens that are ink tab. You know, so I've got a Sailor Pro Gear Slim. I've got some Leonardos. I've got the Narwhal 365, my Diplomat Aero, my Pilot Custom Heritage 92, my Visconti Van Gogh, the Leonardo Memento Zero Grande, and a Pilot Custom 823. They all live in this case. By closing it down, I've got them all nicely protected. And as I said, it just sits over on the side, so it's out of the way. Another pen case I'm going to fetch in. This one, it's actually the first pen case I bought, and I got it off AliExpress. It cost me a fortune. It was $20. And it's this. It's called a Keiko Alio pen storage bag. I'd say 20 Aussie dollars. Really inexpensive. You know, it's functional, does what you want it to do. Zips up quite nicely. So similar to that Galen, it's got that zip close. If I open this up, in here I've got my essentially mid-tier pens. These are the ones which cost me a little bit more, but they don't fit in with all the expensive pens. Remember, these are all pens that are inked up. You know, it's good. We've got this little sleeve so it stops them from banging against each other. It's got a little bit of a nice, I'm not going to say padding, but it's like a striped felt, so it keeps them nice and safe and stops them from scratching. Fits most of my pens nicely. So we've got here some Narwhal Skullkills. We've got a Pen BBS pen. Got a Wingsung 698. On the other side, you know, we've got a Narwhal Nautilus. Fits in nicely. We've got a Bennu Talisman. We've got a Visconti. Got a TWSBI VAX 700R Iris. And I've got an Opus 88 Coloro. Nice fits, you know, they go in and out quite nicely. Let's go with that Nautilus. That's the biggest pen of the lot, I think. Keeps my pens nice and protected, but it's nice and cheap. Gonna pop that to one side. I love the grey colour. The next thing I use for storing my inked pens is this. It's a little stand, so the pens will actually stand on it, which is handy for display. Except pens I usually put on here, they're heading towards the cheaper side of my pen collection. This is actually a nail art brush rack, and it's 5 Aussie dollars on AliExpress. Why I don't like this, I don't know if it's showing on the camera. You can see how easily it wobbles, and I struggle to actually get it balanced. I don't know if you can see there, just one little tap. I can move it, but it's not really strong enough for what I want. And that's why I usually just keep the cheap pens on there. But still functional. Now on there, these are the pens I have on there at the moment. Sneak peek, you haven't seen my unboxing for this. This is a Wingsung 699. I've got all these gorgeous coloured pens. I've got my black pen with my black ink. And I've got my TWSBI Eco there, and that's got my stub nib in it. I use that for titles when I'm writing. Now the problem I've got, I've filled all those cases as you can see. I've also filled that rack. I've still got all these pens which I need somewhere to live, because at the moment they literally are popped on the side table. They roll all over the place. It looks a mess. But that's a way of life when you're collecting pens. You end up with loads of them inked up. I've got so many with ink in it because, I do my first impressions, and then I don't like to empty out the ink. I like to keep it full because I do try and use them as I start working on my longer term thoughts. So in here again, you'll notice some pens. You may not have seen a first impressions for them. They have been filmed. It's just I'm struggling to get them scheduled. So they may not come out until maybe even August. Let's move these out of the way. I'm going to fetch my Galen Leather one back because this is the pride of the collection of my accessories. I have recently ordered a new pen case, and I've done what I swore I never wanted to do. I've ordered one that holds 48 pens because it's just ridiculous, all these pens laying around. What I'll be doing when that comes, I'm going to decommission this one, and I'm going to combine that, the pens that would be on the stand, and the pens that are just loose. They're all going to go into that new case. I'm still going to keep the Dee Charles one, and I'm still going to keep this gorgeous Galen Leather one. Why I've tried to avoid getting a larger case is because I know what's going to happen. The same as happened here. I'll fill it up and then I'll need more. So I've done a year, but I thought, well, it's time to bite the bullet. And it was, I want to say it was about $25 or $30 from AliExpress. Now, it's going to take a while because AliExpress orders for me, they can take up to 3 months to arrive. What I'll do when that comes though, I will do a first impressions video on it. Although, given that I'm waiting a few months for some other pens, it might not be till later on in the year that I'm actually able to put that out. So this is my current state of cases. I almost forgot. We've got another little pocket here. In there at the moment, what I do is I keep this. This is a B6 Tomoe River notebook. And in here, what I do is I just make a note of all the pens in use that I've got. This isn't something you normally see. I normally use optic paper, which is what you see on my videos. This is just for me, just in case I have a brain freeze, so I always know what pen I've got. I do have one to add onto here. This is a recent pen. This is Jinhao X450. I did its unboxing after I'd recorded this video, so let's make a note of this. So we've got a Jinhao X450 with a medium nib. In here, Diamine Royal Blue. This pen's so nice to write with. I don't know if you have seen the unboxing yet. That's been out for a couple of weeks now. For what I paid for it, it was $6 Australian. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by the quality. So I pop that over to one side so that ink can dry before I put it back. So yeah, this is just a quick overview. I really love all of these cases. I say my problem is keeping the pens down because I fill it up so easily. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Do you have any of these products? What are your thoughts on them? Are there any similar products that may be worth looking at in the future? Please drop a comment down below. I'd love to kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.